I've been a dentist for over 10 years and you guys tag me all the time in the craziest videos each week where I talk about everything going on in the dental world, the weird, the wild, the wonderful, everything in between, and we learn something along the way too. And today we've got a lot of crazy videos, of course, enjoying the new studio that you guys have so much blessed me with. And so let's go ahead and get right into the videos and start learning. All right, what do we got? Some veneers here. Okay. Oh my gosh, why is there a lip? Oh, nice. I actually think this is a very important video that you guys tagged me in. Obviously, it's scary to you guys because you're like, oh my gosh, they popped off this tooth. But there is something really, really cool about this. And so what you're looking at here, this is a veneer that is done without hurting the tooth, it looks like. It looks like that tooth underneath is her natural tooth, without any drilling, without any taking off. So this is what we call a no prep veneer. No preparation means that you do not have to rip off the tooth structure. And you can see, I didn't even realize what was going on until they pulled that off. And that shows you how good these cosmetic no prep veneers are getting. And you can even 3D print these. You can, I mean, there's so many different ways that you can do these now that are so awesome. And so what you're seeing is how you can transform the shape of your teeth without doing any harmful stuff to your teeth. Now, if you love the shape of your teeth and the size of your teeth, then you're still gonna need braces, you're still gonna need Invisalign, something like that, to be able to straighten them out and get them perfect for you. But if they're already fairly straight and you just don't like the shape of them, or you're like me where I've worn down all these teeth from the years of grinding and I wanna lengthen them back and just kind of protect the overall new look of them, or maybe get a couple wider shades, you can do something like this and get some awesome results. So let's go ahead and see what the people said in the comments, because I thought this is actually Dr. Suzanne Asarian. She's Dr. Suzanne on TikTok. And I think this is awesome that dentists are doing this. But let's look at the comments and see what we got going on. I figured somebody was gonna message that said, why are her cheeks shaking like that? And someone else said, hell, why did her cheeks start shaking right after you took it off? That's what happens when you hold your mouth open for a really long time. So probably she's been doing this for a while. They've been doing all the prep. They've been putting them on. They've been showing them. She's been holding her mouth open for a long time. And so the muscles get tired. The angularis oris, all those ones get tired. And basically she's like, you know, once you do that, these get tired and they start shaking. So nothing is wrong with her, I promise you. She doesn't have Parkinson's or anything like that. She just has been opening her mouth for a while, and she's probably over being in the dental chair is my guess. And I don't think these look bad. I don't think these look like refrigerator toilet bowl teeth. I mean, maybe, yeah, she chose a little bit too wide of a thing, but I think it's gonna look amazing for her. But this is, you know, to be fair, one of the things that you can get with these no prep prepless veneers, even though they can be made with porcelain, so it doesn't mean that it's necessarily true or not, but sometimes they always kind of come in a little bit wider or a little bit more opaque shades versus like your tooth has some natural translucency in, which is why we love using porcelain. But I think they do make porcelain no prep veneers too, and some of these new 3D printed, you know, stuff look pretty good either way. So I don't think she looks bad at all. I think the main point is to know that you can get awesome looking teeth without damaging your teeth. I am on a crusade to help things with two people. Do not damage your teeth from all this crazy turkey teeth stuff. And I literally made something nice, our oral care company, to help solve the problem of acid and pH imbalance, the real problem in people's mouth, which is not sugar. So, you know, but I'm gonna get this through to you guys eventually, but I'm just happy that other doctors and dentists are starting to basically kind of look at it from a holistic perspective like this, which I think is awesome. So if you're looking to get your teeth fixed and don't want to rip them off, get something like this.
Okay, so I'm gonna show you.
You're floss in 10 seconds with traditional floss? Okay, we gotta talk about this one. Okay, she is quick. She's a quick flosser. But the problem is I don't agree with this. And this is, I'm assuming I'm not gonna put her on blast. We're not gonna do that here. But the way that she's doing this is obviously wrong. I understand where she's coming from, and I'll side with her on the fact that you're not wrong. I mean, it is very easy to floss. I think we get the problem that it takes forever to use this traditional floss and do it and around there. But the problem is she did this completely wrong, and there is no way you can actually floss in 10 seconds. See, the problem is when you use traditional floss specifically, you do not want to just pop in the contact, pop out of the contact, because the goal is basically to clean the side of the tooth. It's actually not, I mean, a byproduct of it is you get the thing out between your teeth so the food's not sticking there. But the main thing is to actually scrape and slide the floss up against the side of your teeth to remove the plaque from them. It would be kind of like if you were trying to brush your teeth and instead of like brushing the teeth, you just went like this. and just dabbed around your mouth, that wouldn't get the actual plaque and gunk off. And that's basically what she did here. And that's the problem with floss picks, and why floss picks have been an issue for a long time, is because no one's developed them to be able to form that C shape that you're looking for. So people do this, they just pop in and out, which is better than nothing for sure. I will give her that. It's way better than nothing. So I would much rather you do this for 10 seconds and at least get the food and gunk out between your teeth, and not clean the sides of your teeth, than not do it at all. But that's actually why we developed our VersaFloss picks here. We actually made these as actually, I'll open them up. And no, I didn't even mean for this to be an ad. Personally, I just love these floss picks so much. And this is why I actually designed these when I made them. Not only did we make them with like a tongue scraper, so you can go in, but we actually added in a little bit of give here on the sides of the floss pick thread, so that when you go in, you go up, you actually can pull it to the side, and you can really get around and get the side of the tooth. And you can do this all the way around, where you can actually get the entire side of the tooth. And most floss picks, actually, I don't think any floss picks are actually designed for that other than ours. So even though this is great and you're popping them in and out and getting something, this is not the real way to floss. You really need to go in, get that C shape on both sides, and scrape up and down and really clean the tooth. And so if you want something fast, efficient, and made for this purpose, that is exactly what our floss picks are for. They're coated in xylitol to help clean between the teeth. They have the tongue scraper to actually scrape off the tongue. And then you've got this awesome little poke pick design here that you can go in between the teeth if you really need to. I don't recommend just jamming this between your teeth, because you can cause gum loss doing that. But it's meant to just be kind of a utility knife on the go for you to clean your teeth. So yes, 10 seconds is great. No, she did it completely wrong. But that being said, her 10 seconds is way better than no flossing at all. And so if you're looking for a way to do that, obviously shameless plug here, I do think our VersaFloss picks are the best. But to be fair, they are the best. So, I mean, it's pretty easy to recommend them. Let's see what the people in the comments had to say. Oh, snap, drama. Someone said dentist here. Wrong. And someone else said, but that's not the correct way to gloss, though. I'm assuming he meant floss instead of gloss. I don't know, unless it's a new Gen Z term. You know, by the way, I did not know that you guys call taking selfies flicking up these days. I thought someone was cursing at me. They were like, yo, you want to flick up, Ventus? And I was like, I think when I was a kid that meant like smoke a cigarette or something. So no, I do not want to smoke a cigarette with you, young gentleman. And he was like, no, I'm just trying to take a picture. I was like, oh, bet. All right. So maybe glossing. Maybe that's a new thing. Is that what we call flossing now? I don't know. I'm getting old. And someone said, flossing X, pushing food into the gums? Check. I don't think it's going to technically like push food into the gums per se. Although if you do have something stuck, you can kind of push it in further into your thing. But yeah, basically just follow my instructions. Do the C shape with the floss. If you're like me and you absolutely loathe traditional floss and think it's the worst ever in existence, then try our floss picks, because I literally built them for myself, so I did not have to use traditional floss, but I could still get the same clean that a traditional floss gives you. So yeah, enjoy that, and don't go too hard on this girl. I really do think her mind was in the right area, and it was just saying like, guys, it's not that hard to at least start moving and doing something in this facility to help clean your teeth, and I appreciate her for that. So thank you. All right, you guys tagged me in this. Your reminder to wear rubber. Oh my gosh, dude, got the Shock Absorber 3000s in the mouth over here. Dude, I never get tired of that sound. It actually is kind of solid ASMR, I'm not gonna lie. Look at that. So what you're looking at right here is not actually shock springs for your dad's Ford F-150. No, those are Herbst springs. And Herbst forces, you know, Mara, those are different appliances you can get in your mouth, as you see her, she squeaks up and down, to basically push your teeth in a different version. And so she has what we call a class 2 bite. Now that's an override, like that. Now she probably was given rubber bands to wear, she didn't wear them. And so what do? Well, you have to fix it. So rubber bands will actually pull your upper jaw back like this, and your lower jaw forward a little bit. But these Herbst springs actually kind of do the opposite. They actually push the lower jaw forward. So every time she bites down, that spring presses this way and pushes the lower jaw that way to grow. And so, yeah, they work really well. Like, they work really well. They're just really annoying for people to wear. And there's different versions of this. Like, we use these springs that just kind of stick on each edge. Those are a way of doing it. You can use a Forces, which is like an actual tube. You can use the Herbst, which is like a spring with a rod. And yeah, I mean, they're amazing for what they do. And so, yeah, your reminder to wear rubber bands is right, because you're only going to get these if you don't wear your rubber bands. Sometimes orthodontists are super jaded outdated and they've been doing this for 20, 30 years and they're like, I don't trust any kids anymore. Everyone gets the springs. And to be fair, I mean, they have really good results because they don't have to worry about kids wearing their rubber bands at all. But funny enough, at our office at Windcrest Orthodontics here, by the way, if you're in Plano, Texas, and you want to be seen by, you know, my company, Windcrest Ortho, you know, come see us. But that being said, just wear your rubber bands. We have really good results because people listen to us. They're educated on why they need to wear them. And the fact is, if you wear them, they will work. And just get them over with, because you'll be done in 3 or 4 months of wearing rubber bands if you wear them consistently all the time. But if you don't, you're going to end up in something like this. Let's see what the comments had to say. They told me, good job, you didn't need to wear them anymore, and I haven't even opened the pack. You know, weird things happen with teeth sometimes. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes you're going through growth, puberty, and us unlocking things with your natural growth. Sometimes you grow in the right direction, sometimes on accident. And you know what? It just helps you out. So that's funny that you say that. Or sometimes your teeth just kind of move in directions that actually help us out. So please wear your rubber bands, even if you were the 1 out of 100 people that got lucky and your teeth just moved in the right area. Okay, that's funny. Dude, I love the photo features here in the comments now. Someone says, watching this because I haven't worn my rubber bands in over a month. And the creator messaged back on the dude. That's hilarious. That's so good. Please just wear your rubber bands. Okay, just so you know, you have to wear them full time for them to move, half of the day to hold. So if you're only wearing them at nighttime or you're only wearing them half of the time, all they're doing is holding the current position you're in. You need to wear them full time to get actual physical movement, because we're trying to literally grow the bone, and you can't grow the bone if you don't have force on it consistently all the time. So just wear your rubber bands. All right, I know it's not Halloween anymore. It's actually November, but this is a dentist that did decide to do his own Halloween costume thing. So this is actually different than what you would see the way that we do it with retainers. He's actually physically bonding this stuff to your teeth. And that's actually how we would do it with an actual filling. It's the exact same process. So what he's doing is he's putting on a little bit of an etchant gel to etch. Actually, let's go back to the beginning here and just make sure they look really good, by the way. I'm gonna go back to the beginning and see kind of how he does this. Okay, so we've got him here. Okay, so first he's air drying it, and then he's directly putting on the primer. And so this is really interesting to know, because if you want it to be permanent, you have to etch the tooth first. And that is that blue gel that you see on braces and stuff. So he skipped that. And if you skip that, the bond is really, really weak and he can just break it off himself. So what he's doing is basically using the second part, which is kind of the adhesive that we use. But because he didn't etch his tooth, it can just pop right off when he's done with it, which is how it's not permanent for him. Now, if he would have used the blue etchant gel and then he would have put it on there, then that thing would have been permanent, and he would have had to use a drill to just drill off his entire tooth, you know, drill it off until he found his tooth structure again, which is really annoying. But because he didn't add that little blue etch on there, and if you miss that step in dentistry too, it will fail. And sometimes you've had issues where like our assistants forgot to etch or something and they put the braces on and then all the braces will fall off. If you've ever had an issue like where you had like 20 brackets fall off at the very beginning of your appointment, something probably happened like that. But that's actually really cool. I mean, this guy's actually really talented to be able to just do that by hand like that and have it fit with his bite and everything for a fun night on the town, Halloween. If you're a dentist and you have hundreds of thousands of dollars of equipment at your disposal, you can do this. And maybe if you really like your dentist and your dentist really likes you, maybe he'll do it for you next year for Halloween as well. Let's see what they say in the comments. He is now Dr. Acula. That's actually, you know, I should do that name, Dr. Acula, Dracula. That's actually really, really funny. I like that. It's so easy for them, yet they charge $4,000. Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. I was like, I mean, it is expensive when you do it. By the way, a filling like that is not $4,000. It's literally like a couple $100 these days for a simple composite filling. And that's more because he's putting it on healthy tooth structure. It's not even permanent. It's just going to fall off. You know, for that, we have to make sure it's sterile environment. We got to get the assistants and the whole team there. We have to make sure we get out all of the decay and make sure the decay doesn't come back, and then give you a filling that will last a lifetime. So there's a lot more into it than just throwing some composite glue on something. I would akin this more to makeup effects for a movie. Someone said this is the dentist equivalent of a tattoo artist tattooing themselves, and it's actually true. In fact, I put this bracket on myself, you know, 2.5 years ago, which I finally did get the stuff for it to whiten. I had to custom make a retainer tray for it and do all this type of stuff because I spent like 6 months trying to figure out how to whiten around a bracket. By the way, it's impossible. You have to come up with your own special way of doing it, but I figured it out, and we will be finishing that experiment soon, so that's pretty sweet. But that's actually cool. Maybe I should just do this to myself and just have fangs all the time. Maybe I'll just be known as Dr. Acula from now on. Let me know. Maybe should I change the dentist to Dr. Acula? I don't know. I don't know. It could be a thing. Either way, next year, now you know. Ortho, you want your teeth straight, right? The crap I gotta go through. Okay, let's see what crap you gotta go through here. Okay, all right. Gnarly. Does happen. This is actually what we call a frenectomy. If you've never seen that, okay, let's see what else we got. Okay, looking like some rubber bands. This is actually a pretty good illustration of what kind of happens to your jaw. You can kind of see how your jaw moves there whenever you're pulling. That's actually kind of physically kind of the way your teeth kind of shift. And you can actually see, I'm gonna pause it right here on the side. Oh no, he's taking teeth. Okay, so this is how you do it. Okay, now let's go back through all these things and talk about. Okay, so the first thing that we've got is the frenectomy, okay? This is normally done for people who have an attachment here that hooks up to here. This can cause a big gap between your tooth. Now, what we do here is we make sure that we close that gap first. This is really important for people that need frenectomies out there. Please, if you take anything from this video, take this. If you have a gap due to your frenum, which is this thing right here sticking down between the middle, you have to get it orthodontically closed before you get rid of that frenectomy. Because if you don't, it will form scar tissue, and then that gap will stay open forever. And even if we close it with braces, it's gonna shoot open. So if you're a kid and the dentist is saying we need to get a frenectomy, please go see an orthodontist before you ever touch any frenectomy, no matter what age the kid is. Please go see an orthodontist before. Okay, the second one, we kind of already talked about the rubber bands here that are showing. That is a pretty good deal. I mean, the point is just to kind of grow the jaws in a formation to where you can kind of see what you're going on. Now, that being said, in this next one that you're gonna see here, when they stop it, if you look at these little blue lines you see, that's actually kind of how we look at your bite, whether you're an underbite, overbite, or regular. We want that front blue line to be directly on the lower blue line. Those should be in the saw. So hers is a full step forward from where that is, and that's causing her to be in this underbite position. So what they're saying is, if you're really gnarly or a full step class 3, a full tooth of a class 3, meaning you're a forward lower jaw of an entire tooth, there is a way that you can do this by removing teeth. And so what you're gonna see is, as we unpause this, they remove those teeth and pull everything back. Now, what that does is it basically puts your lower jaw directly exactly where you want it, because if you're a full tooth forward, you get rid of that tooth, now everything balances out. Now, I don't like to do that because I don't like to close down space, which can cause airway problems, all that. I would love to try and do it with rubber bands. You can do it with rubber bands. If you really wear them and you do a great job and you have a self-ligating bracket like a Damon system, it is possible. I've done it tons of times. Now, that being said, if you really don't want to do it from there, jaw surgery may be an option. And if you really don't want to do a jaw surgery, then the final thing is the removal of teeth, which I don't like to do, but sometimes we got to do it. So the question is, do you have to go through all this? If you want your teeth straight and the crap you're going to go through, you're probably not going to go through all of this stuff. Obviously, you're probably not going to get teeth taken out if you're going to a dentist like myself. You're probably not going to have to do the frenectomy if you don't have a frenectomy. You probably are going to have to wear rubber bands though if you have some type of bite issues. Just make sure you wear them. Let's see if there's anything interesting in the comments. Can we just agree that overbite is a part of it? Fun fact, a lot of people think that overbite means this, sticking out. It's actually not. Overbite is healthy and normal. Everybody has an overbite, and the overbite is just your upper teeth are overlapping your lower teeth. Everybody has to have at least a 20% overbite to function, or else you would just be like open bite edge to edge, not good. You're actually talking about overjet, which is what that means. And then I'm glad somebody said that, what's wrong with my being lip tied? Do you have to get it removed? And someone said, I am not letting them take my lip tie away. And really there's only two things that you see wrong with lip ties. One is the gap that it forms. So if you don't care about the gap, that's one thing. But the other thing is it pulls on the gum tissue and the bone in that area every time you eat and you move your lip. And so it can actually cause gum resorption there. And so that gum can basically resorb up and cause a problem there. So those are the two issues why you're doing that. But now you know. Or a ton of you guys tagged me in that. Oh, I know exactly why. Yeah, dude, look at those braces and impressions. Holy moly, mama moly. So this is something that's fairly common. You know, your mouth is always ever changing, right? And your mouth changes a lot quicker than any part of your body. If you cut your lip on the inside, it heals really quickly. But your tissue has to get used to this after a while. And so when you first get braces, you're going to have a lot of these issues where you're going to get sores, you're going to get nicks, you're going to get impressions like this until the inside of your lip toughens up a little bit. Now, this happens normally due to sleep. So it's normally not something that happens just during the day from your lips being on it. This normally happens because you're sleeping on it. So he's probably sleeping on his face like this at night, and it's just pushing into the gum tissue. Now, if it's not, some people do have really tight upper lips, and there's people that this chin is just always active, and so this lip is always pulling and pushing into these things really tightly. And a lot of people don't realize that they have these issues, and that's actually almost exactly probably what's going on, because I notice he has these class 3 rubber bands, which means he has an underbite. And so people with an underbite tend to have tense muscles and tight lips down here that you gotta like loosen up, because they're so used to keeping it tight all the time from these muscles being in this class 3 position like this. And so that's probably why he has it particularly, but most people have it because they're sleeping on the side. It's not gonna hurt him at all. It is something just temporary. Sometimes it can get annoying. You can see on the corners they're getting a little bit thicker and big there from the rubber bands, which can cause some issues and maybe some cuts and pains there. But eventually he will get over it. Something he might want to do is like try and relax this mentalis muscle down here and the muscles down here in the jaw, and then that will help with the pressure against the lips. Let's see what they say in the comments. Okay, so yeah, someone said POV after you wake up. Exactly, it happens a ton when you wake up. And in fact, a lot of people just have natural like impressions on their tongues, or on the sides of their cheeks specifically, just from pushing up against their teeth at night like that. So someone said, so basically you have another pair of braces but not on your teeth? And that's kind of true, except for those braces don't do anything but just cause weird lumps on your lips. Oh, I like that. Someone said, here for you. And that's actually something small. If someone really has problems like that, they can use some wax at night, or they can use these things called comfort covers, which just kind of snap over the top and they cause a smooth area there, or orthodox or things like that. So it's not that big of a deal. It's not going to hurt you at all. It's a completely normal part of braces. Your body will get used to it as things move. And you know what? But at the end, you're going to have that awesome smile that you're going to love. And guess what? It's not the end of the world. At least it's not super painful. Okay. So we got to look at the positives here. But let me know down below. Do you have this issue when you're with your braces? When you had your braces? Or am I just making this up? Because I feel like I see this all the time. Okay. Why'd you guys tag me in this? Oh my gosh. Do not use that, please. Okay, more Listerine sprays. Okay, gotcha. Okay, dude, this guy's insane. His mouth must be so cold right now. Okay, and he's got Listerine tabs. I didn't even know they still made those. I thought they got rid of those. Oh my gosh, do not drink water. Please tell me he's not gonna. Oh my gosh, he's going for Altoids? Jesus, dude, my man's breath must be so fresh. Oh, no! No, not the orange juice. Dude, I was thinking water. That's so disgusting. Ugh. Dude, that has to taste, oh my gosh, that has to taste terrible. You guys tagged me a bunch in this, and I thought it was really important to kind of talk to you about the history of mouthwash and why we actually tell you to avoid most mouthwash, particularly the ones that he was using in this, the OG alcohol-based, you know, whether that's Listerine or anything. Anything alcohol-based is actually terrible for your mouth, and here's why. You see, everybody's mouth is full of this thing called a biofilm. You know, it's all of these bacteria in your mouth, good and bad. Okay, that's important to know. For the longest time, we know that bacteria, Strep mutans and P. gingivalis, Strep mutans causes cavities, P. gingivalis causes gum disease. We knew that these bacteria were bad, and if we could get rid of them, we could do a really good thing for the mouth, because we could cause it to stop having all these problems. And so back in the day when they invented this mouthwash that has alcohol in it, well, they were like, oh, this is great because it's gonna kill 99.9% of germs. This is great. That's what alcohol does. And so what we did was they put it in there, and we told everybody, swish with your mouth with this forever. It's gonna be awesome. Unfortunately, that's not the case, because the problem is this is what we call a scorched earth approach. And this is when we kill all the good bacteria and all the bad bacteria at the same time. And so, okay, let's do a little thought experiment. If you have a yard in your back and you have weeds in your yard, okay, and you decide to just kill the entire yard, the entire grass and the weed population, you think that maybe the grass grows back, but the weeds doesn't, but that's not actually the case. The weeds actually grow back faster than the actual lawn itself. And now you've got double and triple the weeds. And then if you do it again, you've got quintuple the weeds. And then all of a sudden the entire yard is full of weeds. And that is actually what happens when you use an alcohol mouthwash. You kill all the bacteria. And the bad bacteria are so good, like weeds, at growing really quickly, that the bad bacteria grow super fast. And then the good bacteria is basically left, you know, to basically be at the mercy of the bad bacteria. So you end up getting more gum disease and more problems, you know, unless you're just killing the bacteria every day all the time, which is what their hope was. You know, it's like use mouthwash forever now, or else your bad bacteria is going to come back so quickly it's going to kill everything. And that's actually really, really bad. Now, the good news is that's something nice. We've developed something that has never been done in the oral care industry before. Now, I'm not going to talk to you about it on this video, but in the future, in like literally a couple weeks, you're going to be able to see and unveil this new technology that is going to change oral care forever. And I cannot wait to show it to you. But it's interesting to see kind of the past of where oral care was and where it's going. And there's great mouthwashes now that do some cool things that aren't alcohol based, but nothing like what we're gonna put out. And ours is actually not even a mouthwash. But still, it's fun to see this option of everybody waking up to the fact that acid and pH is an issue now, that bacteria are an issue now. And it's so funny to see kind of where we were and how far we're going. So do not use an alcohol mouthwash. If you ever see any of these OG Listerines, like the blue bottle or the brown bottle, do not use them because they will harm and hurt your oral microbiofilm. And all these oral microbiome of the good bacteria are going to get really harmed. So we're going to avoid those forever and be looking out for a really, really cool new product that we have going on. I'll explain more about it at a future time. Today is not that day, but it is coming. If you see a video here and here, make sure to click it because the YouTube algorithm thinks you're going to love it. Like, subscribe, and follow, and also check out Something Nice, the best oral care company in the game, designed and developed by me, the internet's dentist, the Bentist. Next week, I'll see you again, and we're going to learn even more. Till next time,